So I guess we should begin at the beginning. In regards to all three of my channels and how they're doing, all right? I think what we should do is talk a little bit about, obviously, what's been going on this month with these illegitimate gifted memberships. And I say they're illegitimate, even though, according to YouTube standards, they're fully purchased and paid for. It's obvious that YouTube didn't intend for this to be this way. And what I mean by that is people using VPNs to look like they're from another country where the currency conversion rates are absolutely broken and ridiculous. And then they could just come on someone's YouTube channel and buy up a bunch of this stuff on the cheap. I mean, to give you some perspective here, okay? A regular membership on YouTube costs $3.99. These people are buying a membership for a fraction of a cent. Okay? I want you to think about how broken that is. That would be like saying someone from one of these countries where they're using this VPN to pretend like they're from could come to the United States with a wallet with $100 in it, and they could buy a car. Do you think that would be allowed? No. Of course not. That's ludicrous. You cannot buy a brand new car for $100. But with this exploit that they have discovered, that's what they're doing. Okay? So it's obvious that this is not something that is intentional. This is something that someone at YouTube, when they implemented it, didn't know what they were doing. Just idiotic. But that's not surprising, because that's par for the course for some of the people who do stuff at YouTube. And then when it's finally discovered, everyone has to suffer for it until someone there wises up and fixes it, which could take years. Yes, this has been affecting me this month. It has affected tons of people on YouTube over the years, but it's not a widespread enough problem that YouTube cares. If it affected the biggest content creators, then they would care, but, you know, it doesn't really affect them because they have so many people usually watching and contributing that it doesn't matter if a bunch of their memberships go out and nobody gets paid for them. Okay? The good news is there is a positive thing as a result of all of these gifted memberships, all right? Because according to YouTube's criteria, they are real memberships, despite the fact no one's getting paid for them. This channel, as well as my other two channels, DSP Reacts and DSP Throwback, have gotten hundreds upon hundreds of these, in my opinion, illegitimate memberships, but that has given the channels more perks. So for example, on this channel in the last 3 weeks, we have unlocked something like 6 to 7 emote slots. And as you know, if you're a member right now, you'll see them. It's a bunch of versions of me as the Street Fighter characters Ken and Ryu. I think there's like 3 or 4 of those emotes. And then me in a cowboy hat. That's a much better version, a more modern version than the older one that I was using for many years. And then I just added a couple more to the channel because we had more slots. The old death emote we used to have over on Twitch, where when I die, it's like X's over my cartoon eyes. And then I just added the DSP cozy emote, all right, which is me kind of wrapped up in like almost like a parka, all right. Now you might say, well, why did you pick those? Because it's literally the only ones I have left. Like, obviously in this case, no one was expecting that this channel was going to have a ton of emotes unlocked in 1 month. It takes hundreds of memberships to unlock an emote slot on YouTube. So it's not like anyone predicted that that was going to happen, right? But hey, enjoy. You know, if you are a member, you get access to those emotes, and the good news is they're never going away. Even if we lose all these gifted memberships, which is going to happen. These aren't going to stick around forever. We're going to keep those emote slots. So anyone who remains an ongoing member of this channel will get those emotes, which is pretty cool, right? So at least there's something positive that kind of comes out of it. And then going hand in hand with that, both over on DSP Reacts and on DSP Throwback, there's hundreds of these bogus memberships that have unlocked emote slots, and I've added emotes to those channels as well. So if you're someone who is on any of my channels, and you either got one of these gifted memberships or you decided to support the channel and actually buy one, which is nice of you, because thank you for that, because that's really the support that keeps me going. That's my major source of income. You're going to have access to tons of emotes in chat, and you can use those emotes in video comments as well. just got to emphasize that, because a lot of people just don't post the video comments on my stuff, and I don't know why, because I approve all positive comments. The only comments I don't approve are ones that are like completely off base. Like, let's say it's a video on Tekken 8 and someone goes on a rant about a completely unrelated game. Why would that be on a Tekken 8 video? So I'm not going to approve that comment, right? But anything that has to do with the video, that has to do with constructive criticism, even if it's saying, oh, your gameplay sucks, here's how you can improve, I approve it all right? It's only like blatant insults, you know, and crazy off-topic stuff that you don't see. So if you comment on my videos, you're going to get those comments on there and seen, and so you could use these emotes and, you know, say some silly things, right? So consider that, especially if you're someone who watches my videos. I mean, every day thousands of people are checking out my stuff here on the channel. I don't get a lot of comments, all right? It would be a good thing to do, good practice to maybe start commenting on the videos and get that feeling of community going. You know, I haven't really mentioned that in a while, and that's something that maybe I should mention. You know, I always say engagement. Engagement I talk about on streams all the time, because without engagement with you on a stream, it feels like I'm just talking to myself and I'm here by myself, and that I don't want. I did that for many years. I don't want to go back to being that kind of creator because I feel it's boring, okay? But now, with us having these interactive streams, is so much better. And the same goes for the videos. If you're watching my stuff on demand, please leave comments on the videos. Enjoy these new emotes that you have unlocked if you're a channel member, okay? So at least that's one positive that has come out of all of this negativity. Sadly, yeah, we have today and one more day left this month. And these are the last 2 days for me to essentially rally and get support from you guys to have a good month end. And, you know, I'll be honest, this week has been mixed. Some days have been absolutely outstanding with people showing up and engaging and supporting. And then other days have been slower. Particularly every time I play Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, it's as if we slow down to a snail's pace. People don't stick around and the support dries up. And I can't make people on this channel like JRPGs anymore than I already try. I love JRPGs. I enjoy the heck out of them. Hell, the stream yesterday of Like a Dragon, I was having so much fun the entire time that we were in Hawaii and enjoying this new atmosphere and all this new content. But I can't make people like it. I can't make you like what you don't like, or maybe you have a prejudice against. That's unfortunate. I've kind of learned that over the years. Over a decade ago, I did what was called the Summer of Retro, where I played a bunch of games from my youth, including Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Mario World, Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, and a few others. And everyone complained over 10 years ago, this is the worst summer you've ever done. It's so boring. Why aren't you playing hot new releases? Why aren't you going back and playing GTA games? Why aren't you doing this and that? And I'm like, because I don't want to do the same thing all the time. And these are games that are meaningful. They're the history of gaming. It teaches you where games came from. It's the games that were interesting for my youth that I wanted to share with all of you. And it went right over almost everyone's head at that point, and people just complained the whole summer and said, oh, you screwed up, right? And that's disheartening to me, because that's the stuff that I love. And I want to share what I love with you because you're my audience, right? I want to have that connection with you and show you that I have passion for games, and it doesn't just root from, oh, it's a hot new release and everyone's here to see it and drop views on a new game. It's more about gaming as a whole, where gaming came from, where it's been, where it's going, sharing those experiences. I loved the Chrono Trigger playthrough I did over the summer. That was super meaningful to me, right? So for me, it is disheartening. All right, very disheartening that I play a certain style of game that I love and it doesn't resonate. And I can tell you right now, that's to a T, that's Infinite Wealth. I'm loving it. There is an audience for it, about 200 to 300 people, and then everyone else is like, meh. And that sucks because the game's so long. And remember, that's the game that I want to play enough to unlock this Dodokan Island, I think it's called. I think it's Dodokan. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's just like Animal Crossing. So by the way, I have an update on that. My wife unlocked it yesterday. Now she's way ahead of me. I think she said she's in like chapter 5, okay, of the game. So she's like over 20 hours in. She's been playing it ever since it came out Friday, pretty much daily. Now she's at work, so she hasn't been playing it as much, but she played a lot of it in the first 2 days, and she finally got to that. And excuse me, woo. Essentially, she's loving it. She says she played it all last night when I was doing Pal World last night. She was playing this island. She's like, it is Animal Crossing to a T. It's got fishing. It's got, you know, planting and digging and all of that stuff. It's literally got everything from Animal Crossing. Plus, it's got combat because your settlement or the resort gets attacked by pirates. So you have to fend them off. And she's like, I love it. She cannot wait to do the co-op with me. But the problem is, you have to play for over 20 hours to unlock it in Infinite Wealth. Right now, we're about 8.5 hours into the game. We're going to play it again tomorrow night, which will get us over 10 hours in. But I think you see the point I'm making. Since no one really is showing up and supporting these streams, they're pretty much my deadest streams of the week, I can't play it as much. I have to basically make it a night stream. Now, it could take me another 2 to 3 weeks at this rate as a night stream to get to this island and finally be able to do this co-op gameplay with my wife. So you see why it's disheartening for me, right? I was hoping this was going to be something that we'd be into like right away, maybe even in the first week, and we'd be able to do weekly co-op streams with Kat. It would be amazing, right? I can't wait to play games with my wife. I've been waiting for 5.5 freaking years to play games with my wife, and now we've got the game she wants to play, all right? And I'm excited for it, and now we're in this situation where people just don't really care about the playthrough that much, so I can't play it as much. I have to play games that people are going to watch and engage with on the day streams. I can't just decide to play the slowest stream every day on a day stream and have my business just completely go into decay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you guys want Baldur's Gate 3. You guys supported the heck out of Baldur's Gate 3, engaged with it, loved it over the last month. I know you want more of it. So I'm going to give you more of it. Okay? Tekken so far has done really well. I haven't had a bad Tekken stream. They've all been good. So I know you guys are liking Tekken. That's cool, right? So I have to give you what you want on the day streams. But that makes my whole plans for this co-op kind of be massively delayed, and that really sucks, right? So anyway, that's going on right now, and I'm excited for it. I mean, it looks like it may be another 1 to 2 weeks before we actually get to that fun co-op. But I totally understand what people are saying. Because, like, for example, Darcy actually said in the chat, it totally feels like that time when you basically played back-to-back Mario games. And I think I agree with you. The fact that Like a Dragon Gaiden was just out, and that was a more classic Yakuza-style game starring Kazuma Kiryu, and it was lengthy because I took my time playing it. It was a night stream game. And we had just wrapped that up in early January, and then that led into Infinite Wealth. Well, the thing is, I could have skipped it. Absolutely, I could have skipped it. But I would have missed a giant chunk of story that's kind of essential to understand what's going on in Infinite Wealth. And I feel like it would have been like a game that was missing from my timeline of Yakuza. And could I have done other stuff during that time? Yeah, I could have. But I don't think there would have been anything that would have been a major replacement. It wasn't like there was so much going on at that time. Maybe I could have played Sea of Stars a little earlier, right? But it fit. It really did. It just fit for when it came out, being a Game Pass game and everything. But I didn't know that that was going to result in people being completely burnt out on Like a Dragon, especially because this new one is totally different. We're now in Hawaii. It's a different location, different gameplay elements, different story elements. Like, the whole thing's changed. And I think that's one of the coolest things about this game is they're reimagining and reinventing what this franchise will be in the future. It's not just confined to Japan anymore, and that changes it for the better, in my opinion. So, I'm really liking it, but yeah, it just, after yesterday, I was like, damn, this really sucks. I want to play more Infinite Wealth, and I told everyone the status of what was going on with the playthrough, and it didn't seem to have any effect. The stream was dead yesterday. So it is what it is. Anyway, so the good news is right now on all 3 of my channels, memberships are way up, and because of that, we've got emotes. The bummer is these are the final 2 days of the month, and yeah, it looks like unless we get a giant rallying of people being very supportive today and tomorrow, I'm going to be really behind this month. And so what that means is 2 things. Number one, it means I got to play catch up next month, but next month is February. It's the shortest month of the year, right? In addition, it sucks because I've got a bunch of stuff coming due all at once, which really stinks. This is the worst timing. It's like the crappy trolling happens, right? Now Infinite Wealth isn't turning out to be a great playthrough because people are burnt out on Like a Dragon stuff. And then on top of that, February now is the shortest month of the year, and a bunch of stuff is all coming due all at the same time. So only just everything at once, right? It's like, you know, you go outside and there's a tornado coming by your house on one side of your street, but then you turn to the right side of the street and Godzilla is coming towards you, but then you look straight ahead and the space aliens are landing with all their laser guns ready to invade. So you couldn't all just do it at once or separately. You had to all come at once, right? You know? Isn't it funny? That's just how life works. As Avarice just said in chat, when it rains, it pours. You're exactly right. It sucks. And that's just my life right now. What can be said about it? Well, if you like my content, please, for today and tomorrow, please support it. And when I mean support, I mean anything. But right now, you know, super chats, memberships, and legit gifted memberships and tips all would help right now. Now, once we get into early February, basically, some methods of contribution just aren't going to help as much. Because as I've told you guys many times, there's a big delay between when you do something on YouTube and when the streamer or content creator actually sees any benefit. There's almost a whole month to month and a half buffer, okay? Anything that happens today or tomorrow, I will get credit for in February. But once we hit February 1st, anything that goes through on YouTube, including membership, super chats, I won't see till March, and late March at that, okay? So now we're in a situation where I'm going to be like, well, now I need tips. And now I'm going to have to sit here and talk about it every day. And you know what? I'm fucking tired of it. I don't like talking about this in any way, shape, or form. I hate it. This is my worst part of any of my content I put out is when I got to talk about it. But because I'm a small-time creator, I have to talk about it. You know, I don't have the option of ignoring these problems around me and pretending like they don't exist, because then I'll go out of business, you see? So, as of today, tomorrow, everything is great. Everything is fair game. Any kind of support is greatly appreciated, and please do. But I'm not going to be sitting here talking about it constantly once we start with gameplay. I don't want to, all right? It's too annoying to me and you and everyone. No one wants to sit here hearing me fucking bitch about it all day. I don't want to talk about it either, but I have to. It's a necessary evil, okay? But once February hits, it's going to be a big push, essentially, for tips. And, you know, we're going to have the Super Bowl Marathon coming up, which we're going to talk more about today. And I'm excited for, because I think we're starting to finally formulate exactly what it is that people want during it. And that's going to be a day, essentially, where, yes, tips would be great. Absolutely great to help that day during a special event, right? So we'll talk about that in a little bit, because I think we're kind of really finally starting to solidify what we're going to do that day. Anyway, excuse me. So, please support if you can today and tomorrow. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't really want to sit here and talk about it any further. Let's move on to other positive topics, shall we?